You just got your asses whipped by a bunch of goddamn nerds. Nerds!
Welcome back to the Nerds Podcast as we celebrate Batman Day 2025, created by both Bob Kane and Bill Finger back in 1939. Batman Day officially started in 2014 when DC Comics decided to launch an annual celebration of this Caped Crusader to honor his debut in Detective Comics number 27. It was in June though, but it's okay. This is an ongoing celebration. It's a cultural impact, and the date of the celebration is typically the third or the fourth Saturday in September. And if you're enjoying our content, please share, subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell so you can make sure that you see all of our latest videos. I am here with Pete, and we are going to talk about his favorite character, and I'm going to have a ton of subjective questions for us to talk about, and we're going to have a good conversation about Batman's personality, his relationship, his skills, his gadgets, some of his ethics and morality, and of course, the legacy, as we know, for Batman to be himself. Pete, I'm a little envious. Batman has a day like today, but his arch nemesis doesn't. But the nerds are graciously enough to give me a character day with the Joker. And if you haven't seen that episode, go back and see it. It was one of my favorite places to actually host for this channel. And Pete, I know you said this previous in other episodes. I know you said it when we did our live together, but talk to me about your love for Batman.
Well, it just started out when, and I'm more of a DC guy than a Marvel guy, it's not that I feel that one is better than the other. Just when I'm introduced to this is when I was very young, and it was Batman. Seeing Batman, the Adam West version on TV was crazy because nowadays you can see that any time of the day. That time, seeing something like that live was very different. It was like it changed your mood when you were able to watch that show as a kid, because again, you're seeing a live action Batman, and then of course during the day, getting home from school, you're watching Super Friends, whether it's Super Friends with the Wonder Twins. Then there was the Super Friends, which I couldn't stand, which was with Marvin and Wendy and the dog. I forgot the dog's name, but it looked like a great Scooby-Doo. And then there was the Challenge of the Super Friends when they were, button heads with the Legion of Doom, which was the coolest one out of all of them. But that's how I got introduced to it. Again, I just thought he was the coolest looking one. As a kid, you're very impressionable. I thought he was the coolest looking one. He had his utility belt where anything he needed, he got from there. And, he had his own car. He needed a helicopter. He had that, then bring the Batcave into it. He was just the coolest looking one for me.
Listen, Bruce Wayne lost his parents, Thomas and Martha Wayne, at 8 years old. And this is where our origin story kind of takes place, right? In the sense of how it all started for Batman. I remember the Super Friends. But in the sense of his origin story, as you've seen it across the board, what movie or TV show, live animated, what's the one thing that you remember seeing it that delivered that gut-wrenching moment for you that kind of started his origin story? Is there one particular movie or show that you remember the most?
It was the Tim Burton Batman. He was the guy who ended up. We found out it turned out to be the Joker in that story. It turned out to be the Joker who killed his parents. But if you look at the look on his face, because he was about to point the gun at him after shooting both his parents, and you see the look on his face, he was scared. Look what he just saw, and that to me kind of like just delivers how he felt. Just you can see the frightened look on his face is what tells it all for me in that movie.
No, I remember that the pearls falling to the floor, everything of that moment, the wet floor. them leaving, of course, the theater and that nature. It was dark, it was eerie just for it to happen. For me, it was in the animated series back in '92. The episode is called Dreams of Darkness, and he got Bruce Wayne in the animated series. The Scarecrow had hit him with some of the fear gas, and he kept on falling asleep and having those dreams. If you remember that episode, that for me was the moment that delivered the gut wrenching portion for Bruce and his origin story there. But Nat, listen, this all these alternate universes and things about that nature. But I want to talk about an alternate universe where Bruce dies and Thomas, his dad, becomes Batman. Are you okay with that?
I don't know. I thought that twist, and I said it a couple of episodes ago. The multiverse can fix a lot of mistakes, and it can also give you like a clean slate. And this was for them. This was part of the Flashpoint story. This was for them to kind of tell a different story, a different take on Batman. Like you said, it's crazy. Bruce dies, and his dad becomes Batman. His mother goes crazy after watching her son die in front of her and becomes the Joker, which is a crazy twist on it. Yeah, I have zero issue with it because it doesn't seem cheesy to me. It's just it keeps all the same the same participants, but they have different roles. Which to me, I thought it was genius. I thought it was a genius take.
Yeah, listen, I hope they kind of dive into that stuff with the whole Peacemaker thing that they're kind of doing now with alternate universes, and give us a real Flashpoint movie, but stick to the script. Don't deviate from it. Very similar to what they did with How to Train Your Dragon. If they ever did a live action Flashpoint, don't deviate. Just keep it to the script and let's go through it.
Well,
but I want to get into Bat. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
They tried. They tried with the Flash.
No, that wasn't it. That wasn't it.
No,
that wasn't it.
I understand it wasn't it, but that was their attempt at it. Remember, they had a Batman, and even Jeffrey Dean Morgan has been quoted as saying, "Yeah, Michael Keaton stole my role because they were going to bring him because in Zack Snyder's universe, he was Thomas Wayne, and he was gonna. They were talking to him to be in the Flash movie, but I guess during negotiations." They went to Michael Keaton, and of course, Michael Keaton has said his favorite role in his whole career has been Batman. And of course, he jumped at the opportunity to play Batman again. But we almost saw Thomas Wayne in a type of Flashpoint movie, even though that Flash movie wasn't very good. But that storyline of Flashpoint, the Flash is the main character, and of course, he's teamed up with Thomas Wayne in the alternate universe. It's one of the best stories out there.
And I love me some Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Some Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
We almost
I would love to see that. I would love to see that at some point, but like I said, let the fans talk. Comment below. Tell us if you'd like to see that particular storyline in live action. But I want to get into Batman's personality, if it's okay with you, and some of his traits here. Batman's always, depicted as this serious, angry hero. Do you think that Batman has a sense of humor?
It's tough to say. It's hard to even really try to pinpoint a time where he's shown any type of, he rarely cracks a smile. Yeah, it's tough to say that. I know at the end of The Killing Joke, the Joker tells a joke that gets him to really laugh. And it's weird considering
that's exactly where I was going to go.
It's weird considering what happened in that story, the torturing of Gordon, what happened to Barbara. It's tough that's when he chooses to laugh at something that the Joker has said. But no, listen, I don't think he does. And it has to do with a lot has to do with the trauma that he witnessed as a kid as well.
No, and he's around a lot of clowns. The Flash is always clowning around. Catwoman has her puns around him as well. So he's around a lot of people that are throwing jokes. And Green Lantern, even Cyborg. Cyborg throws some jokes in there too. And he's always with the serious face. But like, I agree with you. The trauma of everything that has happened to Batman really shows why he's the Dark Knight, not the light Knight. He is very much into that dark cloud shadow. I 100% agree with you. But the killing joke and at the end, them laughing together tells me that he does have some sense of humor. And I know there's a lot of things on social media where they show Batman trolling people. I love those because that shows a different side of Batman that we'll never probably see in animated or in real movies. But, in the sense of who he is, um, do you think Batman is a lone wolf or is he a team player?
He's a lone wolf, and it brings into question, Robin, because that's somewhat of a hot topic, being that Christian Bale had a stipulation. Yeah, I'll do the Batman movies, but there's no Robin involved. He didn't want Robin involved at all. Um, and you think about what he did. There's three, and if you count Batgirl, there's three kids and one female, all teenagers that he trained to go and fight crime with him in what he does, and it's not really the most responsible thing to do, but he is a team player in that sense. But in those situations, those relationships, if you read the stories, you'll see that it's his way or the highway, and that kind of rubs them the wrong way at some point. As you see, Dick Grayson, he ends up leaving and becoming Nightwing. So, and then there's a scene in the Justice League animated. I believe it was Justice League, the animated series, that they wanted to turn themselves into the government, and he said, "That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard," and said, "I'm a part-timer," and just hung up on them. And so I would say yes, but only when it absolutely calls for it.
No, listen, I'm going to say he's a team player. He is part of a team. He is part of the Justice League. I think he funded the Teen Titans, if I'm correct. So there's a couple of things where he likes teams, but I think he's very, to your point, super picky, right? About who he really rubs elbows with, because he doesn't rub elbows with a lot of people. But, we've had 5 Robins that I know of. Dick Grayson, as you mentioned, Jason Todd, Tim Drake. There was a female, Stephanie Brown, and his son, Damian Wayne,
Yes.
which he didn't train, of course, but at the tail end, he's a Robin, right? And so the question for me is, as we transition from team to his partner, out of those 5, which do you think is Batman's favorite? And then who do you think is your favorite Robin?
Well, I'll go to my favorite. My favorite would be Damien. I like his arrogance, the fact that, and you just look at his pedigree. His grandfather is Ra's al Ghul, his mother is Talia, and his father's Batman. And it's kind of like he was kind of made for this. There's a in the DC Universe online game. There's a mission with him involved, and he kind of flexes and says, I'm the son of Batman and the grandson of the Demon's Head. And I was just like, yeah, he knows. That's
Talk
why
about pedigree, right? Talk about pedigree.
Exactly. Like he's he was built for this. So my favorite would be Damien. And I have there's a comic panel I just seen today that said it was a conversation between Superman and Batman. And it's obviously a sore spot for him because he was killed by the Joker, but Jason Todd, I believe, is his favorite.
So I'm going to say Dick is his favorite because Dick is the first. Robin, probably the most trained by Batman from young to adult life. In the Injustice comic book, he actually kind of disowned Damian after Damian by accident killed Nightwing. So
and he sided with Superman as well.
Correct. So there, in my opinion, Batman's favorite is Dick. My favorite is yours, Damian. I like Damian because of his fighting style. I like Damian because he doesn't mind killing. Where Batman, of course, is consistently trying to stop him from doing so. And that yin and that yang that Damian has to Batman, I love it. And even when Dick put on the Batman uniform as Batman was healing himself as well. That was also kind of show who can carry the mantle a little bit more. So I'm gonna lean on Batman's favorite being Dick, and then my favorite, of course, being Damian. A lot of the things that you said, I'm absolutely on board. But as we talk about these relationships for Batman, you know, who do you think is the closest to him? Right? Is it Alfred? Is it Dick? Could it be Damian, Jim Gordon, who he spends a lot of time with on the roof and then leaving him by himself? Um, Catwoman, a love interest for him, or even Superman. They share the same mother's name, both Martha. So, who do you think is closest to Batman?
I think this is easy. It's Alfred. It's Alfred. I mean, he lost his parents and he raised them, and he's his partner in what he's doing. And him being a vigilante, he is he's his partner and he's raised him. I think to me it's easy. It's Alfred for me.
Mm. Um, I'm gonna say it's Superman. For me, I think that Batman respects the hell out of Superman. They visit each other all the time within their cities. They know each other's love interests. I mean, look how Batman went crazy. And again, I'll go back to Injustice because Injustice is probably storyline is probably my favorite out of DC. The Injustice comic book because again, much like Hush and some of these other comic books, it involves so many people coming together to tell the storyline. But Batman went kind of crazy when Lois was missing, and it could be love and fear at the same time because he knows what Superman could become with all that power, but yet he chooses to befriend him on a consistent basis. And when he had an opportunity, when he was fighting Superman on multiple occasions, he put on the kryptonite ring. He could have killed him, didn't. And again, great debate here, but I would think Superman is the closest to him. I think Alfred is out of respect, almost like you said, a father figure. But as he's growing into like who can he relate to the most in the sense of having a secret identity plus having to carry out justice the way it should be, because both Superman and Batman don't want to kill. They both, and we saw that in the Superman movie as well. That Superman is trying to keep life sacred in that sense, that nature. I think Batman does, and I'm hoping that they show that somewhere down the road. But I would think that because it's more relatable. When you're on the same path, again, one darker than the other because Batman's no light like Superman. But I think that there's a love there between them two that's very close and tight knit, and they both know each other's secret identity, which is really cool as well.
Well, there's another comic book panel. It's I don't know what issue it's from, but it's Batman is talking to somebody, and the guy feels bad because he goes, my favorite hero is Superman, and Batman turns to him. He goes, "It's okay, he's mine too." I thought it was dope.
No, there's also one where Batman is talking to Catwoman, Superman is talking to Lois, and they're talking about each other's mothers and parents and their history, each other, and they respect each other. That one also is near and dear to my heart as well. But let's talk about Superman, right? I mean Batman. Sorry about that because we were talking about both. But is Batman the greatest superhero with prep time?
That's one of those. That's one of those never-ending debates. Like does pineapple belong on pizza, and is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Pineapple does belong on pizza. Let's not play this game.
Was that
Pineapple does belong on pizza.
for you? Um, uh, that one is. I don't know about that one. That one's tough.
I think
One,
it's Iron Man. I think Iron Man with Tony Stark with prep time is the most dangerous, in my opinion. Uh, Batman comes second after that.
yeah, that's one I've never really entertained.
Okay.
The is he the best with prep time? I know a lot of people, have these conversations and these debates about that particular thing, but I've never really gotten into that one because
But you respect Batman's prep time. Is that what it is?
of course, yeah, because he's a tactician. He's so that's one thing that he has that a lot of people don't. A lot of other heroes don't.
As we continue this conversation on Batman Day 2025, you talked about the utility belt when you mentioned it. One of the most iconic gadgets of all things that Batman's using and things of that nature. What is your favorite iconic gadget that he uses?
I think we've seen a lot from the animated series. His grapple gun. Just the way the way he takes it and points and points it out, the noise that it makes, it looks cool. It's that.
No deny. Even when he puts it on his belt to pick himself back up, like he knows exactly where to place it on his belt. He's used it like he has the grapple gun, like in the first Batman movie, the Burton one, where it shoots both side to side, so he can actually slide across. I mean, does the cape count? Does the cape count when he puts it flat and it flies? I mean, that is.
I remember when I first started watching Batman, like he would use that to block bullets, and that was before he used it, like as you just said, as to glide. But when I was younger, when I first started watching, he was blocking bullets with his cape. So
yeah, and we see with John Wick now, right? When he does that with his suit.
Yeah,
but yeah, you're right. Batman had that a long time ago. John Wick. Sorry, John Wick. All right. From utility belt to grapple to vehicles. Give me Batman, your favorite Batman vehicle.
Well, so I'll say my favorite Batmobile is the Tumbler.
So break down the Tumbler for those that don't know.
The Tumbler is the one that looks like the tank from the Nolan movies, the trilogy. With Christian Bale, that's the Tumbler. That's the one that's kind of more like military like. Now I gotta say, one of the coolest things I've seen, and this was something that, and look, we just spoke about this on our Wednesday episode. Tim Burton was able to make a Batman movie when he was in the Batwing, went up into the clouds, and you see like a top view of it, and it goes right into the moon, and it looks like his emblem. That was one of the coolest things I seen in the movie. Everybody went nuts in the movie theater. That was insane. But you'd never seen his ships shaped that way before that movie.
Correct.
That's why it was just it blew everybody away. So for me, the Tumbler is my favorite Batmobile, because to me the Batmobile is one of the things that makes him so cool, is that. But then he has all this other, again, like I said, when I was a kid, he had everything. He had everything you can imagine because he didn't have power, so he needed this stuff. But he had a plane, but then the Batwing in Burton's first movie was dope.
No, the Batwing is my favorite for the exact same reason that you mentioned. When him and Catwoman jumped into the plane as well, that looked amazing as well. My second favorite is the Batcycle coming out of the Tumbler. The way it turns and the wheels turn, like, come on, it doesn't get any better than that. Like, I remember the crowd going absolutely insane when he came out on the Batcycle, chasing, of course, my favorite guy, the Joker. But man, this was amazing to see. But seeing the logo on the moon itself, and Batman has a little, showing off a little bit, in my opinion, on there. But that was
okay.
That was epic. That was epic to see that. All right. I could talk about all the gits and gadgets and things of that nature, and I love Batman for that. But let's talk about some of the morality issues and ethics of Batman. Of course, he doesn't want to kill. He draws a very thin line between justice and vigilantism. Very close to Daredevil in that sense, that nature, where they don't want to kill and they want justice to be justice. But this, of course, causes a lot of rifts between him and some of his his Robins. what do you think about Batman's moral code?
Well, you bring up Daredevil, and it's funny because they won't kill, but they'll drop somebody off a building real quick, like without thinking twice. He did that to Maroni in in
He
the
said,
Dark Knight.
this fall won't kill me.
Yeah, he said, yeah, I know. And then dropped him and he broke his ankles or whatever. And then Daredevil did that to Bullseye. We just finished saying that this year.
Yeah.
His morals, I get it. And just to go real quick, the animated series Batman Beyond, I'll never forget that that's when he quit because he picked up a gun because he was too old to get it done the way he was normally does, and he picked up a gun, and that was the last time he wore the he went out there with the cowl. But his morals, as far as him not using guns, it's I think it adds to the uniqueness of him because we see a lot of these anti-heroes who do use guns, the Punisher, Deadpool, these guys have no problems. They have an arsenal on their person, but Batman won't use it, and he'll use whatever he's got on his, his fighting skills, is whatever he's got on his belt. But yeah, I like that part about him, is that that's something that he won't use. Same thing had happened in Justice League Unlimited. Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, and Batman actually went back in time, and they were dressed as cowboys, and Green Lantern said them empty holsters aren't going to scare anybody, and he said it's not my style, and he just kept he didn't rock with it. So
Batman is so different in that nature, and thinking about this now, I think of one of those greatest lines where I'm not going to be able to quote it right now, but where he goes, if we cross that line, we're no better than them, in the sense of the villains and things of that nature. You won't be able to tell the villains from the heroes at that point in time if you ever cross that line. But I remember the Batman movie, the last one that came out, and it took Jim Gordon to get him off of the Riddler, because he was about to kill the Riddler nonstop puncher because he put the Bane venom in himself, man. And of course, at that point in time, he is no longer Bruce, but or Batman, because that venom is pretty potent in that sense of that nature. But to not cross that line on a consistent basis with all the fighting that he has to do, it's so tough. And listen, my heart goes out to him. But at the tail end of it, it's never going to be easy. But let's cross over outside of movies, outside of TV shows. One of my favorite subjects, of course, is video games. Batman is the leader. He has over 50 video games from the 1980s till now. No one has more video games underneath their utility belt more than Batman. Pete, this is not going to be an easy question. Give me your top or your favorite Batman video game.
Well, it's the Arkham series. The latest ones that have come out is the Arkham series, and I think it's easy to have a video game based on him, being the fact that he has all these vehicles, he has all these gadgets, so it's easy to kind of have to work up to different things so you can use these different things. If you're Superman, like it's and everybody wants a Superman game, but he's Superman. Like what was the game going to be over in 5 minutes? Like he's already he can fix whatever whatever he needs to. It's gonna happen in the blink of an eye. I think it's easier to make a game based off this character because of what he has at his disposal. He's got gadgets, he's got vehicles. So and again, him not having superpowers, I think that adds to it as well, is the fact that that it's easier to make a game because with that he doesn't have powers like I just said, Superman.
Listen, there was a 1983 game. I want to say 1983 game, or not 1983. Sorry, 1989. The Batman game for Nintendo Entertainment System. It was based off the Tim Burton movie, of course. That one I remember very detailed. I get up to the bell tower, fight the Joker. I remember it so well. But Arkham Knight, post the Joker's death, which was Arkham City,
Arkham
I
City
believe.
is right. Yep.
Arkham City, he died. Arkham Knight was after that. That game was everything. Even had a jump scare when I was flying, using the cape, and the man bat grabbed me out of nowhere, bro. Like I got shook on that one. It caught me by surprise as well. So for me, Arkham Knight blows everything else out the water. I love those games. They are talking about doing another one. So I'm hoping that they're doing. I think that's Rocksteady, right? That's Rocksteady that does that.
Well, Rocksteady made those 3 games. There was also a time before Arkham Knight. I think they wanted to do another one, but Rocksteady said we're not going to rush it, and we want this one for the PS4. So they went to another company. It's called Arkham Origins. It's kind of like a prequel, and it's so there's 4 games under that Arkham umbrella.
Oh,
And
yeah. Arkham Asylum was the first one, and then they made the prequel.
No. It went Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, then Arkham Origins, then Arkham Knight.
Okay. All right. Yep.
Arkham Origins is up there, though. It's one of the better games out there.
And that's previous to all of those 3 in the sense. I know
Yes,
that they didn't come out in order, but that is the original first one if you're trying to play them all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to leave Kevin Conroy out of this one right now because I think animated wise, there's not even a point of having this conversation. Kevin Conroy is the best voice for Batman, right? No debate here.
No debate at all.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that. But outside of Kevin Conroy, because again, that's a no-brainer. Your favorite live action Batman, and then your favorite live action Bruce Wayne.
So I like them. I like them all. I think we can all agree that the worst one was Clooney, and Clooney.
No, I think Val Kilmer was the worst.
Oh, I don't agree on that. But
yeah, I think Val Kilmer again. That's fine. Again, but please, I'm sorry. I'll debate it on
I think the majority would agree that. I think the majority. Let me not say agree. I think the majority feels that Clooney was the worst. Clooney himself has admitted that he didn't give it his best, and he credits himself with killing the Batman franchise at that time. But after that movie flopped is when we got Christopher Nolan and Christian Bale. And and what I love about that is that he pitched it to the cast as this is gonna be like Blade Runner. That's how he pitched it to the cast. His trilogy. I love the approach, having a more grounded Batman. You see a lot of his vehicles were from like military type. The Tumbler came from there. But to answer your question, it's easy to say Michael Keaton. He's probably the best one out there. But for me, and this is not popular, I'm sure this is not a popular take, Ben Affleck.
Okay, so Keaton favorite Batman, Affleck favorite Bruce Wayne.
No, both Affleck.
What? No, you're killing me softly with this one. Oh no, favorite Bruce Wayne, Keaton, for me, and favorite Batman, Bale. That's where I go. I love this because I'm learning something from my brother here on the Nerds as well.
But look at Ben Affleck, how he looks. We'll put up a picture of how he looked in the animated series and how Affleck looked.
Because of the chin, come on.
Look at his suit. It was the Dark Knight suit, like almost to a T.
No. The suit was fire. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie that the suit was fire.
I'm trying to tell you.
I just because we talked about the sense of humor thing, and when Flash asked him, "What's your superpower?" he said, "I'm rich." That's a play on words. I don't think Bruce Wayne would ever do that.
The voice modulator in his cowl, so he doesn't have to talk and strain his throat like this guy was. To me, when Alfred was working on that, I thought that was genius. I was like, oh, this is 10 times better than what this guy was doing. For me, everything Affleck. Everything. I didn't like
Wow.
the Batmobile from Nolan's movies is still the best one for me, the Tumbler. But if you ask me, Bruce Wayne and Batman, and I know I could have picked one guy to be Bruce Wayne and the other guy to be Batman, but for me, it's both.
Did you like Patterson as Wayne?
No, I
Yeah.
didn't like him as Wayne. I did like him as Batman, but again, I've said this. I think I've said this before. I'm not going to watch a Bruce Wayne movie. I'm going to watch a Batman.
Right. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely, yeah. I see your point. Very, very, very valid. And note taken. Yeah, Ben Affleck. Not a good Daredevil, but definitely a good Batman. Okay,
Yeah,
we'll take it.
it's Batman Day, not Daredevil Day. So
No, I say that because of
don't
the
care
fact
what.
that
Yeah, no. I'm kidding.
No, but I say that because we were talking about how their ideologies are very similar,
Yes,
and Ben Affleck played them both, which is very cool. Which actor that has not played Batman would you like to see play the Dark Knight?
Well, we just spoke about it. That Jeffrey Dean Morgan, man, that was a huge miss, man. That was an enormous miss. It sucks that we didn't get to see Zack Snyder's vision, because of course that's probably where he would have gone with it, because he had him as Thomas Wayne in the flashback to the origin, when they get murdered, you see him in the movie.
Yeah.
And and obviously he wanted to do it, and it sucks because we've given him his flowers on this show a couple of times. Oof. Jeffrey Dean Morgan, because he's just great, and to see him as Thomas Wayne would have been really cool. I can't think of anyone else who I would say I would want to be Batman. I know James Gunn is going to have his own take on Batman, so we'll see that. And if you go online, there's fan casts everywhere, and I'm just like, oh god, this is giving me a headache, because you know what it is? I have a feeling all these fan casts, and they have a whole bunch of people. He'll pick somebody that no one has suggested,
which is what I'm hoping for.
I think that's what's going to happen. Even though we've spoke about Alan Rickman before,
the guy that plays Reacher, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he played Hawk in Titans. He's he actually, the rumor is that he has spoken with Gunn, because he was one of the more popular ones fan cast as Batman, and he has said I would do it in a heartbeat. But apparently they've had conversations, and he said I may play something in DC down the line, but it won't be Batman. So
no, and I know he even tweeted that out right to James Gunn too. Like, let me do it. For me, it's Armie Hammer. I would like to see him be Batman. He's been in some big movies like The Man from U.N.C.L.E., The Social Network, The Lone Ranger. That guy I would like to see play Batman. All right, so
hold on. There was a movie that was supposed to happen, Justice League Mortal, and it was axed.
I do know about this. Yes,
because of the writer's strike. He was supposed to play Batman.
The greatest Justice League movie that never happened.
Yes, Common was supposed to be Green Lantern.
Yeah. I remember that. Wow. Thank you for wow. That's a plug-in. Like, that's like, I feel like the Matrix just now, like, plugged in, and all that memory comes back in. Crazy. All right. So let's talk about where Batman lives and things of that nature. Does Batman have the greatest base of operations with the Batcave? Of course, and let me mention a couple of these things as I'm talking about it. Fortress of Solitude, Justice League Watchtower, Titans Tower, Avengers Tower, Baxter Building, the Sanctum Sanctorum, the X Mansion. Is there a better base than Batman's?
So the Baxter Building and the Avengers Tower, for me, kind of cancel each other out. They're like the same thing. And the same thing with the mansions, they kind of cancel each other out. Now, probably think I'm going to say the Batcave, which is very cool, but I think not the Fortress of Solitude. I think the Fortress of Solitude is just ice. Like, where's the furniture at? There's no couches there. He's going to go to sleep on ice? I never liked the Fortress of Solitude. To me, it's the Watchtower.
Right.
Love the Watchtower. Huh?
Over the Batcave.
Yeah.
Okay, give me some ammo on that because I think it's the Batcave. But go ahead.
No. I mean, listen, it's not. There's no wrong answer there, but the watchtower is a satellite, man. It's in space. That to me, that just adds to it. That to the Batcave is just like his basement. But don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it sucks like the Fortress of Solitude, but it's to me, it's the watchtower. The watchtower to me is cool.
I think the Batcave is dope with the huge Joker card, the big penny, the dinosaur. Thus everything everything that's in the watchtower is in the Batcave in the sense. The Bat Computer, like, come on, like that's such a dope name. I know there was a joke, and I forget what I was watching. It was animated, and Harley Quinn was making fun of Green Arrow, and he was making the name for him. She goes, "You should call it the Quiver, because that's where you put the arrows."
He called the Arrow Cave. He was calling it the Arrow Cave, and she was like, "Why? Why don't you just call it the Quiver?" That was an Injustice, I believe.
Yes, an Injustice. Thank you. All right. Last question for me, and this is DC Universe. Is Gotham the darkest city? And can Batman do what he does in Metropolis? Is he able to really sustain what he does in Gotham within Metropolis? I'll wait for you.
I don't think so. He deals more with, mob bosses. A lot of them are mob bosses that he deals with. I don't know if there's the same type of element in Metropolis that there is in Gotham. So I think he can get away with what he does because Gotham is, and it's funny that you say that it's dark. In the game DC Online, you can travel to Metropolis and Gotham. But when you go to Metropolis, it's sunny, it's gorgeous. When you go to Gotham, it's raining and it's nighttime. So listen, Gotham has the rep that it's tough and it's like you said, it's dirty. But yeah, that's
based off New York City, so yeah.
I heard different. I heard Metropolis is considered New York and Chicago is considered Gotham. Even though Chicago is considered the cleaner of the two cities, but that's what I heard.
Yeah, no, I think Gotham is more like where Robin is from. That's how I see Chicago. Listen, we could talk all day about this. We could get into lore and all of this. I just wanted to be able to celebrate Pete's guy, Batman, on Batman Day. So happy Batman Day, you guys. Be brave, be bold. For Batman, for me, for Pete, take us home.
We will return.
The worst episode ever.